Tell you what, let's start with the conversation on the week in review politically and nationally, of course, with this particular discussion on the seeming defiance from the Council of Governors to the directive given by the President. And to help me with that, just to give his perspective, is Joe Mutambu, the MP for Mwingi Central. Thank you, sir, for joining us. I'll start with that. Yes. What is your opinion? Are the governors, in order?
I think governors, they are overstepping their mandate by defying what the president said. One, the governors, they don't have money. There's where they depend to get money.
Yes.
And the budget has already been allocated to them, right? If these doctors were working, they could have been paid anyway. So that salary is pending somewhere. We are not asking them to go and look for money somewhere else to come and pay them. We are asking them, or they've been asked to pay what they could have paid these doctors. So whether they went on strike or they were not on strike, they could have been paid. This is point number one we need to rethink. But we are not saying that we double pay them. We are saying that we pay them what was due to them then. So because this money was there, why would someone say, I am not going to pay?
The argument being that it was declared illegal, that's why we won't pay.
Well, yes, you see, this is a negotiation between employer and the worker, right? There must be some discussion, and there was some negotiation. And these people were given some time by the court, even though that the strike was declared illegal, but the same court gave them a leeway when they gave them some period to negotiate. So if I've been given time to negotiate, that means that illegal part of it has become obsolete.
Yes.
My understanding. And my position on this, we do not want to put our country into disarray or to subject people to loss of life. And this is what I want governors also to understand. Are they saying that they don't have the money? So if they do have the money, then why not to pay them? Then number two, the person who gave those orders. We need to understand we have a country which has a head of state, and the head of state in Kenya is one Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And they need to respect them. They feel that they are at par with the president. They are not. County is just a unit of Kenyan state.
And this is what we've seen on some instances. I've mentioned this in the previous hour, actually this hour, the flexing of muscles between the national government and the county government, showing who's boss. Because the governors want to show that we are the president of our county. And, this, as you've mentioned, overstepping the border. What needs to be done to actually draw the line?
What we need to understand, the line, we are drawing the line within a line. We are drawing a line within a circle. What is the circle? The circle is the country of Kenya. It's the state of Kenya, Republic of Kenya. So we are drawing the lines within there. So who is the boss here? The boss is the person who is in charge of the boundaries of the country Kenya, not the boss of a county within the Kenya. Yes, we do have two levels of government. What we are talking here, we are talking about two levels. And within the levels, one level can be higher and the other one can be low. They are not at par. Counties, they are not at par with the presidency. Governor is not a presidency. Governor is just somebody who is within. We have 47 counties within the country, which the ultimate boss of all these is the president. And they need to understand that. And that's why they do not have their own money. The money they spend, they get it from the national government.
Okay.
The national government, they bring the budget to parliament. It is the parliament which passes the budget to give that money to counties. Yes, it is in the constitution that they are supposed to get this revenue share. It is all in the spirit of building our country, who the head of state is one.
Yes. And let's talk politics now. In the issue, the sticky issue of nominations. Yes. And this has come from different stakeholders. Of course, the ODM party wanted to carry out some nominations earlier. Actually, today, this was meant to be the day for some form of nominations to take place in some, from some parts of the country. But that is seemingly on hold, as they have been also in talks with, in the entire body of NASA, in talks with IEBC, that actually took issue with the direct nomination that took place earlier in the week, that some people were given some certificates directly, and the IEBC said, no, you should wait for us to actually have the list of aspirants officially. What's your opinion on this?
You see, I think what NASA is trying to do is trying to confuse Kenyans, and they are trying to divert the attention of Kenyans trying to demand from them, before you even tell us who you are, who is your flag bearer. What they're trying to do, they're trying to be a little bit tricky on this issue.
Nothing wrong with that. It's a game of politics.
I mean, it's game of politics. And in any game, so if you call it a game, in any game, a game is played by the rules, right? Even a simple game like football.
Let's talk about cards, and they're holding their cards close to their chest. They don't want it to be seen.
I mean, what
Perhaps.
I'm saying, you have to play by the rules. And if the rules are that it is the IBC who is the arbitrator here, who is the referee, right? You cannot say, if the match is been fixed at 4 o'clock, you cannot say, what? You know what? You referee come at 4, me I'll go at 2 o'clock to play my game. You cannot do that. Mm-hmm. So if the rules are clear and set, that you can only do this after this is done, then you have to abide by that. And remember, this is something which is in the Constitution. This is not something IBC is coming up with. All right? These laws were made. These people were there when these laws were made, and you have to follow the law. You cannot say, I'm going to do my nomination the way I want. Why? Because the people will be elected. They will not be representing NASA. They will be representing people of the Republic of Kenya. And we have to respect that. So my opinion is this: when NASA was told, or whoever, but by the way, it's not NASA. It is, I would say, it is ODM. It is ODM. It is ODM who went ahead and said, we want to do our nomination today. I want to tell ODM, please, for the sake of this country, play by the rules and follow the laws of the country. I mean, there's no vacuum. And we are not in a banana republic, whereby somebody wakes up and they do whatever they want to do. Even here, you are transmitting news, you are doing it within the regulations. You cannot just do it your way. And why do we have laws? Everywhere there's laws. Even God gave Moses laws for people to to follow. There's no way we can say somebody, because I have followers and I have a mom of the people behind me, I'm going to do what I want. And this is why I want to tell one Raila Amolo Odinga, don't use the crowd which follows you behind to bring chaos in the country without following the law. Okay? I'll be the first person to defend Laila if the law says anybody can do their nomination anytime. But if the regulations have been put and said, this is the day we will go to election, we cannot hold election tomorrow. We'll have to wait until August.
Granted, and actually they've put it on hold. It hasn't gone ahead. I guess they have reflected on this particular decision. But the issue of nominations, let's be candid about it. Yes, the president made mention as he was on tour in Kiambu early in the week and Nairobi, and said, speaking at the opposition, and specifically ODM and Raila to be exact, and the manner in which they've handed out direct nominations. But isn't it quite known in some of the areas as well for Jubilee? Let's be candid. As much as they would like to sound like they are out for democracy and give the decision to the people, the nomination isn't done by the letter.
You see, if you want to do nomination for your party, like I said before, you have to do within the framework of the law. And if we have some specific date which is set to do the nomination, then you have to go by that. Okay? Why did we do nomination 2014? Why did we do nomination in 2016?
But isn't it more of a figure word there? Not figuratively, it's actually more of done as just for the fact that there's need for nomination to take place. It's more of a formality. That's what I'm looking for.
No, nomination is not a formality. Nomination is not a formality.
It is recognized in terms of in the regulations. It needs to happen, and it has its place politically.
Correct.
But as it's played out here
yes.
in Kenya, on whichever divide of the political landscape, it is a formality.
No.
Isn't it predetermined?
No, I would not say that, because once we say it is predetermined, then we'll kill the word democracy. All right?
Is that wishful thinking, or is that the reality?
You see, it is supposed to be democratic.
Supposed to be.
It is supposed to be democratic.
Okay.
But the way we handle our nominations in this country, it is the other way around. We don't play, or we don't exercise democratic right in nominations. Why? Because a party, someone will be nominated by the people. Then their party will end up issuing a certificate to either the loser or someone they want. So there's no democracy played there. We have denied the Kenyans, the members of that party, their choice. You give someone else a certificate. That's what I'm saying. Democracy is not being exercised in our nomination. And another thing, you'll see, for example, we have members of WIPA and members of ODM taking part in the nomination of Jubilee. Why? Because they would want to make sure that the candidate who is elected in that nomination is the weaker candidate, so that can be beaten by the person on this other party. That's what I'm saying. The game which is being played in a nomination, actually it is not fair to Kenyans. It is not. Kenyans, they don't end up getting their choice. They get a choice of manipulation. Someone who has gone in through many other means of either given a direct nomination by the party and it was not the choice of the people, or influence of other aspirants who gang up. They look at Mutambu and say, you know, Mutambu is very strong. And if Mutambu has an opponent in Wiper, in Jubilee, the only thing we can do is to make sure even our members who are Wiper members, they vote for against Mutambu, so that we come and face Mutambu. This is what, in fact, what is happening now, and that's what I'm saying.
Are you disgruntled in terms of? First of all, let's get it straight. Let's get it straight. I mean, the party that you would definitely go with.
Oh, I have no problem. I'll tell you, the first seat for Jubilee to come will come from Mwingi Central, and I have no doubt to say that.
Speaking of which, let's talk the numbers. At least from the leader of WIPA, yes, Kalonzo Musyoka, and he says that they are sure of delivering 2.5 million votes.
From where?
At least from their strongholds.
No, I would tell you it's just a wishful thinking. I don't see it. I don't see him making.
He cannot garner from the Ukambani vote 2.5 million
From
votes.
where? 2 million. If he talks about 2.5 million votes from Ukambani, minus Mutambu, so that is not 2.5. That's 2.4 something. Minus my mother, minus my supporters. So he's getting the mathematics wrong. What you need to understand is the dynamics and how the Ukambani has shifted. And I'll tell you for free, when we went to election 2013, a whole Kamba nation was behind Kalonzo. Today, I'll tell you,
they're seemingly still behind him right now.
No, that is the perception you see here in Nairobi. When you go back on the ground, it's totally different. I want you to go down on the ground, and you will see the ground has shifted. And for your information, because, you know, we made a lot of noise, and we said, when there is no Kalonzo, there is no code. We were not referring to Kalonzo as a person. We were referring to, because there's a community behind Kalonzo. Kalonzo does not represent himself. He represents a community. And when we see there's games being played in here, then we don't need to be there. He can be there, I mean, as a Kalonzo, as a person. One Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka can be in code. But I can guarantee you, the Kamba nation, people of Kamba, where I come from and where others come from, I can tell you for free, over 11 members of parliament, they are pulled out. And I'll tell you, those 11 members of parliament, they will come back to parliament. They are strong in their areas, and they will come with their numbers. So let's those numbers. And don't forget, we are only talking about Lower Eastern. When you talk 2.5 million votes from Eastern, you need to understand we have two parts of Eastern. We have Upper Eastern and Lower Eastern. The Upper Eastern is all Merus, Abere, the Rakas, and all those kind of tribes. They are on the other side. So when he's talking about I'll deliver 2.5 million votes from Eastern, then I think he's lying to Kenyans.
You speak about the ground shifting,
Yes.
having shifted. You've mentioned 11 MPs now having left. So what are the numbers in your opinion? At least now you speak for Jubilee, which is a party that you'll be running under for the next election. Then what are the numbers that you have? What are you confident in?
If election is held today, I can tell you without fear of any contradiction that it will go 50-50 in Ukambani. It will go 50-50. I am not underrating him. We respect Kalonzo. He has some followers, yes, and those followers will be there making noise. Uhuru Kenyatta also has some followers, like Mutambu and the rest, will be also on the other side making noise. So I can tell you for free, if the election were held today, it will be 50-50. And if we take another 2 more months before election, it will be 70-30, 70 for Uhuru. And watch this space. And I have no apology to make, because this is what will happen. People have made their mind. We are going to vote for Jubilee, and there's no question about it. There are those who love and respect and would vote for Kalonzo. I'll tell them, please vote for Kalonzo, don't shift. But those who have made up their mind to shift to vote for Uhuru, we will stick with Uhuru. And that is what democracy is all about.
Right. And at what point did your support in terms of Kamba leadership for Kalonzo, at what point did it shift?
I think when we saw he was not listening to us. You know, once you get elected, you go you talk to people and you get elected, and somebody do not want to respect you or to understand that you are also a leader like him, right? That is where the rain started beating him, right? And shifting goals. Once you agree on this, tomorrow he shifts goals to another position. You agree on this, tomorrow you find something else. Like I was
someone might say you've shifted teams all the same.
No, actually, if I tell you, I have been there for Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. I have been there for Wiper. If I tell you what I've done for Wiper, people would think that I'm bragging, but that is water under the bridge, right? I said because we have to move on as one, as a tribe, two, as a nation.
But what moral standing do you have in terming him as a goal shifter? If you've turned allegiance, is it for political survival merely?
I think what drives Kalonzo, and forgive me for saying this openly, I don't think he has the art of Kamba nation. He don't value Kambas. He values himself more than he values Kamba. Because in his negotiation, he will negotiate for what he will get, but not what Kambas will get. Our drive, we are not pushing for an appointment for Mutambu or for any other member or for anybody. We want a share of the cake to go to Kamba Nation. When I see 3, 4, 5, 10 Kambas being appointed in the government, then I have it, whether I'm in the seat or I am not. But for him, he will say, if I'm not the vice president, or I'm not the president, or this, I'm not there. I will be there, whether I get nothing, but the Kamba Nation gets something.
Right.
That's the difference.
They're going on a retreat, and by April 19th, I believe, they should have announced the flag bearer. If, for instance, it was given to Kalonzo Musyoka, would you back that decision? Would you back him?
I mean, numbers don't lie. That's one thing we need to understand. We know for sure how many votes Kalonzo will garner in this country if we vice alone, for example. Okay. We know how much or how many votes Raila will garner when he vies alone. We know how many votes Musalia Mudavadi will garner. So if you take 3 plus 1 plus 2, the answer will be 6. If you take 1 plus 2 plus 3, the answer is the same. The die is cast. Those who will vote for Kalonzo, they will never shift. They will vote for Kalonzo, whether it's in court or whether it's alone. It is the same mathematics. So the numbers don't lie.
So there's no guessing here.
Yes, we have analyzed. And we know how many people will vote for Raila, whether he's flag bearer or he's number 2. We know how many people will vote for Kalonzo, whether it's number 1 or number 2. It is, those supporters who support him, they will never change. And he will not get vote from this other side.
But you just said that there's some who've shifted, and you just said they will never change.
That's what I've said. They shifted, and we have gone. So like people like Mutambu and the rest, we will not change because Kalonzo is a flag bearer tomorrow. That will not change anything, because we know we'll be heading to opposition, and we do not want to do that. There was a time when we told him, let us fight for this. long time ago. And he never listened to us. You cannot come and tell me 3 months to election, 90 days to election, or 100 days to election. Now you are going to change, and you are going to make things now better. We need to know what values NASA stands for. Up to today, we do not know. And we are not going to vote in vain. We are not going to vote simply because there's one of our own there. No. This time around, we have said no.
But you just mentioned the cake, piece of the cake, the Kenyan, the national cake, and what you would want for the Kamba community. And definitely, if it's in line with what you've mentioned, then you would vote for your own. If that's the thinking.
No, let me tell you. The reason why I'm saying what Kambas will get. You see now, last election, 2013, we gave Uhuru a blank check, right? When you look at the people who have been appointed into ministries, to senior positions, they do not have political goodwill. Why? Because there was nobody who was negotiating or talking to Uhuru. Uhuru just looked at the names and said, this is Mutua. Oh, Mutua comes from Ukambaland. And because he wanted to fulfill the constitutional requirement of regional balancing, he said, let's pick Mutua. But this Mutua may not have any value or political value in Ukambani. And that's actually a problem we have. And that's why we are agitating and we are pushing forward to make sure that Kambas vote for Uhuru, that we get so many members of parliament in the government, so that when Uhuru sits down and says, today I want to form my cabinet, he has some people he can engage and ask questions. We want to appoint so and so. Do you think this person has either one political value in Ukambani or can add value in Ukambani? Because we have people who are appointed in these ministries, but we even don't know them. So this is the cake we are talking about. We can have somebody, but that person is just there for himself and their wife or the husband. But they do not represent the issues of Kamba Nation in where they work. It's just a name. And we do not want that to happen anymore. That's why we are pushing for this.
Something that people don't want to see happen anymore, at least they've pronounced their feelings, is the voting in tribal blocks. But what you're just describing is all but, the issue of voting for tribal blocks for the benefit of various communities. So this is going to continue.
Let nobody lie to you.
Yes.
Let nobody lie to you that there is no interest. Politics is about interest. And if the interest of 1, yourself, 2, your community, 3, where you come from, 4, your nation is not catered for, then you have no business in being politics. Politics is not, a cosmetic show. Politics is about interest. And that's why you see and you hear people cry for development in the areas they come from.
But you speak of the interest as it.
I'll tell you for free.
The tribal interest is a big.
I'll tell you for free, and I'll want to see this. A member from Budalangi going to either State House or anywhere to agitate or to push for development in Ukambani, you'll see very few. No one will do that. When I go to where the development or the piece of cake is being shared, I would want. Let me tell you. It is just like you. When you get news outside there, you will not take them to KTN. You will bring them where? Here. Because this is where you work from. All right? So when somebody lies to you that there is no interest of where you come from, I tell you that is somebody who is lying to you. And you will hear people saying, when you touch somebody, you'll hear, one of our own is being targeted. Why do they say that? And when you hide behind we want to be national. Yes, we want to be national. The interest of the nation will be there. And it is the issue of national is a collective responsibility. But there are issues. When I was pushing for Kitui Kibwezi Road, I knew that there is Malaba, I don't know, to where road, which is also, there are some guys who are pushing for it. And I go to Kitui Kibwezi Road. That is what I pushed for. When I went to negotiate for campus to get their title deeds, I know people in Mombasa, they do not have title deeds. But my responsibility, first calling, is my people.
All right.
Don't be cheated by anybody. And if somebody cheats you that these things do not work, I tell you they work.
All right. Just to get it straight, you're running for MP Mwingi Central,
yes,
and that is under Jubilee.
Correct.
All right. And just one last comment. The issue of tallying centers and what have you, the IEBC, of course, met with leaders of NASA, and they had expressed the interest of having their own tallying center, but it seemed they have agreed that that you can have your own monitoring systems of the election results, August 8th, but the tallying or the announcement of this particular result remains to the IEBC as the exclusive right and role of the IEBC. What is, in your opinion, was a game plan?
The Constitution is very clear. Actually, I don't know why IEBC, they are engaging NASA. They are wasting their time.
They're stakeholders.
No, wait. Then NASA, Mutambu, Governor, MCA, I have the right to have my own tallying center. But I do not have constitutional right to announce myself as the winner or loser. It's very clear. NASA, they can have their own...
Well, you can concede.
They can have their own tallying center, but for their own consumption, not for the consumption of Kenyans, of all Kenyans.
What do you think was a game plan initially?
To me, I think what NASA were trying to do, they were trying to cause, like I said before, were trying just to divert attention so that they take minds of Kenyans away from demanding. And you know what you need to know, what you need to understand, and what I need CORD and NASA also to understand is that when you say I want to vie for the President of the Republic of Kenya, it is no longer a private business. This is a business of Kenyans because we want to rule a country with all Kenyans inside it. So the moment you say, we want to do this, you need to understand this is not your affair. It is the affair of the Republic of Kenya.
Right.
And that is what they wanted to do, to shift the attention from. They can have not even one. I urge them to have 10,000 tallying centers, but for their own consumption. Whatever you get there, we have no business. The problem will be when they said, and actually I think this is where we need to get Chebukati to come on board. When Raila said, I will use Nation, I will use NTV, I will use to announce our results, then that is where the problem is. I would urge the media, and this is what I'm asking you, okay? And I'm speaking this, and you may not know this, with a lot of interest in media. I would urge the media not to be misused, because the moment we focus our cameras to the tallying center of Joe Mutambu, all right? Joe Mutambu can do anything they want to do with their servers and their computers and bring numbers like this. That is the perception we said to Kenyans. I would urge media houses to focus their cameras on IBC board, but not the board of Joe Mutambu or CORD or whichever councillor has their own tallying center. Well, if we do this, we save this country.
Our role as the media has been well cut out, and of course he clarified as well that we have the right to monitor and to keep it at that. Thank you for your time, Bwana Mutambu. Joe Mutambu, the MP for Mwingi Central, on the Week in Review, if you may, on matters politics.